adventure. And what this is, it's I talked to a few guys on the site, and because I was not sure, so they gave me a couple of theories. One guy said it was a pea analyzer, another guy said it was a vending machine, and the third one said it was something to do with cleaning up rocks from a tunnel when they drill. I think the last guy was probably joking, but the first two guys I think were telling the truth. But well, I think actually it's a mix of both. So it's a vending machine and a pea analyzer, and there's a big kind of like a sink in the front. I think that's where you put your product to analyze, like a sample. And there's a light somewhere here, which, yeah, you see that thing over there? So that one will light up red if something is wrong with your sample. But also the major purpose of this, as a vending machine, it's used to serve two items. One is green tea, and one is Indian chala masala, which is chickpeas with potatoes. And they have so only two items. So you throw money in the sink over there, and the chala masala comes out in the end over there on the other side, and the green tea. And they have a bigger machine which has two types of food and two types of drinks, but those are much bigger, and usually they're not as popular as this one. But not everybody is a fan of Indian food, and also they were having some green activists, you know, demonstrations near the site, because there was a lot of gas surrounding the site because of the chickpeas. And so my job now is to I'm taking it back to the company headquarters in Michigan. So they're gonna retrofit this with instead of Indian food, it's gonna serve tequila and burritos. But don't worry, tequila is going to be the option. Tequila option is going to be locked out until Friday at 3 p.m. and that's why usually you see why construction guys shut down all work real early Friday afternoons, because of this option. So tequila and burrito, they figure it's going to be much better than green tea and chala masala. Plus they're not going to be any gas as well. They hope less gas. So now loading this thing was tricky. Of course, they did everything. I didn't have to do much except that, you know, inspect it, and there was a leak in the back in the suspension, and they fixed it. But the workers that were loading me took care of you know, everything. They tied down all these walkways, you know, that are necessary for people lining up to get their chala masala. But over here was tricky. Like this thing, you know, when I came to pick it up, this end was on the ground, and I thought, how are they gonna lift it up, you know? I thought they would use some machine like an excavator, because there's an eye in there where you can hook up you know, a chain or something. And the guy says, no, it's too heavy for our excavator. And they had a Cat 328. I said, well, you kidding, right? That excavator can do like 30 tons, and he says, no, that's too heavy. And I don't know why this machine is so heavy. I think they put too much, you know, supplies in there, you know, tea and beans and sweet peas and potatoes, and and plus all the processing machinery makes it very heavy. But turns out loading was just a matter of switching on the electric motor over there, like I assume about 1,000 kilowatts, and then these ones, the hydraulic, they go down, so basically they raise the front. But the real concern was because one guy that brought this machine from another side to that storage area where I picked it up, actually, he was saying on his Peterbilt classic truck with the set forward axle, he saw like 90 psi on the drives. And I figured I would have to move my fifth wheel, you know, to here so that the weight is spread between the pusher and the drives. But then I saw that this thing over here was like this close to my fenders, you know. So instead of moving my fifth wheel forward, I had to move it backwards, like all the way. And when I was turning on the side, I asked the guys to watch, and this was not touching. It was not touching my frame. It was not touching my fenders. It was just coming real close. But I mean, it's a, you know, dangerous load, but dangerous trailer, right? So it's basically everything is one package, one big vending machine. What I wanted to say was, yeah, and then you know, of course, you just plug in your lines. And we had some trouble with the electric line. It wouldn't go in. Took like 3 guys to push it in, but all the lights work, you know, brakes work, everything. You don't need any special cables or anything. But oh yeah, I wanted to say about the weight, because my truck, once again, I find that the trucks with setback axle, like my truck, right, like the axle is closer to me, instead of like a classic truck where the axle is forward, so set forward axle. Setback axles are actually better for heavy haul because they allow it to spread more weight. Like you see in that guy's case, because his front axle is so far away, there was too much weight on the drives. Like when I loaded this and I put down the pusher, I see normal weight. I see like 34,000 pounds on the drives according to my fifth wheel gauge, you know. So which is perfect because my front axle is, my wheelbase is only 244. So this is perfect design. And actually, one more note I wanted to say is that I cannot believe how much difference this 410 axle ratio makes, you know. Like now I'm really happy with the truck. Any weight it pulls, I feel it's like a cat, you know. 1860 torque with 410 ratio, it's a winning combination. So I'm falling in love back with the truck. And that the other annoying thing was the buzzer, right? But now, because I put that piece of cork or whatever, like a plastic part of a plastic cup on it, over it, now it's manageable. You know, it doesn't bother me. Before it was really shrill and loud. Now it's, you know, dumped like a muffling sound. And I'm at the bridge. This is Sarnia, Port Huron on the other side. And yesterday I just came back from here, right? I delivered that drill rig on my lowboy, and then I dropped the trailer and just went and picked up this vending machine. It goes to the same place in Michigan. And the weather today is beautiful. And today is Friday. And what else did I have to do? Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention is that if you remember a while back, I switched to these, yeah, let me see, okay, yeah, it's too much of a bright background over there, the camera cannot cope, but over here it's good. All right, so yeah, I threw out the Mac air filter, if you remember, and I spent like what, 350 US on a washable performance quote-unquote filter. And I installed that one, I think when the truck had like 40,000 miles, now it has 63. And I washed that thing once, but what they didn't tell me is that performance air filter has 2 layers. Like you unsnap the layers, but it's not one, it's 2. So it's like a lot of fabric. It's not fabric actually, it's more like artificial material, like a foam. But you have to, I wash it once, and then you have to spray that special oil, Kloskin I think it was called, and you have to buy it from them, and your warranty on the filter is void if you use other type of oil. So basically I wash it once, and then it takes like more than 10 hours to dry, even in the summer when it's hot outside. And now I open the hood and I can see, you know, the front part of my air filter is open. There's like a cut in there, right, where the pipe connects under the hood when the hood is closed. And I look at it, it's all dirty, and it's all oily, like black oil. Doesn't look good, you know. And I've been noticing that like the truck kind of like struggles for air a little bit, you know, because I just had a feeling that my filter was dirty. But I forgot to reset my air restriction gauge last time when I put it in, so it was time to wash it again, and I just couldn't do it, you know. It's like too much BS when you're on the road to wash this filter. And where do you do it? In your bathtub? In your shower? It's crazy. It's basically not practical at all. It's one thing to have a small filter. I still have that one on my Dodge Ram truck, like a cold air intake. That is much smaller. That one you just take with you anywhere you can wash it, you know, in a coffee shop, right? Go to, I mean, anywhere. But this one, it's so big, it just really doesn't work, you know, for trucking. And so I went back to the Mac, and I paid 70 bucks Canadian and got a genuine Mac filter, and it has this blue, it's like blue color, you know. It's not like the cheap white paper filter. This one is blue, so I think this one is pretty good. And right away I noticed the RPM dropped a little bit, you know, like, I don't know. So I'm not gonna use these performance filters again. So this was Fleet Air filter, so not good. And I tried the other type before. What was it? K&N. That one was even worse, because that one you had to drag the whole filter to wash it. Because at least on Fleet Air you can separate the layers and just take the layers and leave the carcass, leave like the body of the filter inside. But it's just too much BS, you know. It's not worth it. So guys, gals, don't do it, okay? Maybe I'll put a note on that old movie over there, saying that I'm kind of like disappointed. It's too much work, you know. All this washing and drying, and you don't see that much difference anyway, you know. So, and plus, you know, when you don't feel like washing it, then you end up driving with a dirty filter, and you may, you know, actually your fuel economy will go down. You can damage your engine with all these dirty parts, dirty particles, you know. So, oh yeah, and one more thing is that I'm upgrading my computer. I'm selling this MacBook. I have MacBook Pro. This one was 2.2 gigahertz i7. Now I'm getting 2.8. So faster, with a bigger flash drive, SSD, solid state drive. And they say that in 2015 models they changed the design, something inside the flash drive, and not just the size, but I think they changed the software or something. But they say that now the speeds, access speeds, are 50% faster. So it's gonna be a much faster computer, and I'm getting it on Saturday. And I already found a guy to buy my current MacBook, so I'm gonna meet him Saturday as well when I come back from Michigan empty. We're gonna do a swap, just move my software, but I'm gonna use the same iMovie I'm using now for videos. I'm really happy with that one. And again, all my cameras, so stay tuned for more videos. I guess till next week, I'm Sergei DRATCHEV in Sarnia, Ontario.